Han So-hee wins big in London. Imagine a heist so audacious that it not only cracks open vaults of black money and gold, but also shatters the glass ceiling of neo-noir storytelling, propelling a Korean gem straight to the pinnacle of European acclaim. Welcome to the triumphant saga of Project Y, where desperation meets destiny in the glittering underbelly of Seoul. This victory at the 10th London East Asia Film Festival feels like a seismic shift, a moment that sends shivers of anticipation down the spine of any cinephile who's ever rooted for underdogs in rain-slicked streets. It's the kind of win that whispers promises of more bold visions yet to unfold, leaving me breathless with the sheer audacity of it all. What if the true crime in cinema wasn't the theft itself, but the way traditional genres have long sidelined women's fury, only for Project Y to rewrite the script, with two protagonists who burn brighter than any fedora-shadowed antihero. At the heart of this neo-noir crime drama pulsed the unbreakable bond between Mi-seon, portrayed with raw, unyielding intensity by Han So-hee, and Do-kyung, brought to visceral life by Jeon Jong-seo. Two women teetering on the edge of rock-bottom reality. Their only lifeline, each other, as they plot to snatch 8 billion won in hidden gold bars from the opulent shadows of Gangnam. I find myself utterly captivated by this duo's chemistry, an electric undercurrent that hums with the quiet terror of survival, reminding me how rare it is to see female leads not just surviving, but thriving in chaos. Their glances loaded with the weight of unspoken loyalties that tug at the heartstrings long after the credits might roll. Dare to picture a director whose lens captures the pulse of urban despair with the precision of a safecracker, turning his sophomore feature into a festival darling that echoes the ghosts of Tarantino's pulp fever dreams and Hong Kong's kinetic grit. Lee Hwan has done just that, infusing Project Y with a stylistic bravado that feels both intimately Korean and universally intoxicating. Born in 1979 and honing his craft through earlier works like the poignant coming-of-age tale Young Adult Matters in 2020, where he explored the fragile fractures of youth with tender empathy, Lee Hwan's evolution into this genre-bending territory stirs a profound admiration in me. It's as if he's channeling the restless energy of Seoul's nightlife into every frame, making the city's neon veins throb with menace and hope. A directorial debut in noir that promises he'll be the one to watch as Korean cinema continues its global ascent. Ever wondered how a festival born from a simple passion for overlooked voices could blossom into Europe's beacon for Asian ingenuity, drawing 45 daring films this year alone to illuminate the boldest strokes of East Asian creativity? The London East Asia Film Festival, marking its decade milestone from October 23rd to November 2nd, 2025, has always been more than screenings. It's a cultural bridge, launched in 2016 as a non-profit haven for the diverse tapestries of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean storytelling, evolving from a modest 7-film affair to a vibrant showcase that pairs cinematic feasts with K-food pop-ups and starlit premieres at the Odeon Luxe Leicester Square. This edition's embrace of Project Y in its competition strand fills me with a warm glow of vindication. For in a world often blind to non-Western narratives, Leaf's nod feels like a heartfelt embrace, fostering dialogues that linger like the aftertaste of aged soju, urging us all to savor the richness beyond Hollywood's horizon. Suppose the spark of genius lies not in flawless plots, but in performances that claw their way into your soul, etching characters so vividly that you ache for their escape. Han So-hee's Mi-seon embodies that fire, a role that cements her as the unmissable force propelling Korean drama into supernova status. Rising from humble beginnings as Lee So-hee in 1994, she traded modeling aspirations for acting after a serendipitous audition, bursting onto screens in supporting gems like the scheming Do-kyung in the scandal-soaked The World of the Married in 2020, which shattered viewership records with its raw betrayal and desire, or the vengeance-fueled Yoon Ji-woo in Netflix's My Name that same year, where her martial arts prowess and emotional depth left audiences gasping. Yet in Project Y, her portrayal of a woman forged in quiet desperation evokes a personal thrill in me, a reminder of how So-hee's journey from the ethereal romance of 100 Days My Prince to the supernatural twists of Abyss mirrors the resilience she channels on screen, making every sidelong glance a manifesto of quiet rebellion that resonates deeply in these turbulent times. And what of the partner in this cinematic crime? An actress whose gaze can unravel mysteries before a word is spoken, transforming Project Y into a symphony of shadowed glances and unspoken pacts. Jeon Jong-seo, born in Seoul on July 5, 1994, and tempered by a childhood stint in Canada that infused her with a worldly poise, exploded into stardom with zero prior experience in Lee Chang-dong's hypnotic Burning in 2018. Her enigmatic Hey Me, a riddle wrapped in smoke that earned her International Whispers of Genius and a Blue Dragon Award nod. From the time-bending terror of The Call in 2020, where she snagged Best Actress at the Baeksang Arts Awards for a role that twisted sisterly bonds into something sinisterly profound, to the quirky vulnerability of Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon in 2021, Jong-seo's Do-kyung in Project Y stirs an electric envy in me. Not for the gold, but for the unfiltered authenticity she brings. A performance that feels like eavesdropping on the soul's private war, blending the ferocity of a cornered animal with the grace of a dancer evading spotlights, and leaving me yearning for more tales where women like her rewrite the rules. Envision a supporting ensemble so seamlessly woven that they elevate the heist from mere machination to a tapestry of human frailty, where every side character pulses with the city's undercurrents. Kim Shin-rock's enigmatic presence adds layers of intrigue. Her history in introspective roles like the ghostly echoes in the Guest series, hinting at the moral ambiguities she'll unpack here. Likewise, Kim Sung-chul brings a grounded intensity, drawing from his breakout in the heartfelt Extreme Job comedy thriller of 2019, where his comedic timing masked deeper pathos, now twisted into the noir's web of deceit. And Jung Young-ju, with her veteran poise from decades-spanning dramas like Reply 1988, infuses maternal ferocity that grounds the frenzy. Together, they create a ripple effect that makes the film's 110-minute runtime fly by, evoking in me a profound respect for how Korean casts collaborate like a well-oiled syndicate. Each performance a gold bar in its own right, forging emotional stakes that hit harder than any vault door slamming shut. Could the allure of neo-noir lie in its refusal to stay buried in black and white morality, instead dragging us through Seoul's gilded gutters to confront the thrill of moral freefall? Project Y masterfully subverts the genre's fedora-clad fatalism, blending high-octane chases with intimate whispers of loyalty. Its plot, a reckless domino chain sparked by our heroine's desperate gambit, stealing not just wealth, but a shot at reinvention amid Gangnam's facade of prosperity. This break from convention, praised by festival organizers as a powerful rupture in classic noir tropes, signaling fresh horizons for Asian cinema, ignites a fiery optimism in me. In an era where films like Park Chan-wook's Oldboy or Na Hong-jin's The Wailing have redefined vengeance as visceral poetry, Lee Hwan's vision feels like the next verse, a reminder that noir's shadows can cradle light, turning survival into something savagely beautiful that lingers like cigarette smoke in the rain. Ponder the electric buzz that precedes a film's bow, where invitations to titans like the Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2025 in its special presentations, or the Busan International Film Festival's Korean Cinema Today premiere on September 18th, ignite a global murmur. Project Y arrived not with fanfare, but with the quiet storm of acclaim that builds like thunder over the Han River. Screened also at the Hawaii International Film Festival in its Stories of Women section, each outing amplified the whispers of its innovative storytelling. From TIFF reviewers hailing it as a smart and thrilling neo-noir with leads who shine like electric currents, to Busan's audiences gasping at the audacious fusion of melodrama and brutality. This pre-release odyssey fills me with a vicarious exhilaration, evoking the rush of discovery akin to unearthing Parasite in its festival infancy. It's proof that when Korean cinema dares to dream beyond borders, it doesn't just compete, it captivates, weaving threads of universal hunger into a narrative that feels tailor-made for our fractured world. Isn't it mesmerizing how a single award can ripple outward, validating not just a film, but an entire wave of innovation cresting in East Asian screens? Securing the best film in competition at LEAF, announced by distributor Plus M Entertainment on that fateful Monday, underscores Project Y's role as a harbinger, its female-centric lens flipping the male-dominated noir playbook on its head in a manner that echoes the subversive spirit of Bong Joon-ho's class warfare epics or the stylistic panache of Ryu Seung-won's action ballets. Director Lee Hwan's own words, immensely honored after Toronto, Busan, and Hawaii, hoping audiences complete the film from their own perspective, resonate with a humility that touches me deeply. A call to empathy in an age of spectacle. It's this invitation to personal reckoning that elevates the thriller beyond pulp into a mirror reflecting our own chases for freedom, making the win feel less like a trophy and more like a shared exhale of possibility. Reflect on the alchemy of sound and shadow that births a film's soul, where cinematographer Yoo Young-gi's moody palettes, drenched in Gangnam's synthetic glow and the tarry underbelly of back alleys, dance with Gray's pulsating score, a hip-hop-infused pulse that throbs like a stolen heartbeat. Editing by Han Mi-seon slices through the tension with surgical grace, ensuring every reckless turn propels the narrative forward without losing the intimate pulse of its characters' fears. This technical symphony evokes in me a sensory nostalgia, reminiscent of the rain-lashed fatalism in Kim Ji-woon's I Saw the Devil, yet infused with a modern edge that screams relevance. Project Y doesn't just tell a story of theft, it steals your attention, wrapping you in its web until you're complicit in the getaway, heart pounding with the illicit joy of narrative rebellion. What happens when neo-noir meets the relentless tide of Korean cinema's global surge, birthing hybrids that challenge not just conventions, but our very perceptions of power? From the 1990s new wave's raw social dissections in films like Im Kwon-taek's So Pyeonjae, to the 2000s explosion of genre benders such as Memories of Murder, South Korea has long mastered the art of noir's moral mazes, evolving into a landscape where extreme violence critiques societal fractures, as seen in the technicolor shadows of The Man from Nowhere, or the philosophical brutality of New World. Project Y slots seamlessly into this lineage, its heist motif echoing the revenge arcs of Lady Vengeance, while pioneering a female-driven ferocity that feels revolutionary. I can't shake the exhilaration it stirs, a testament to how Korean filmmakers, buoyed by hits like Squid Game and Train to Busan, are exporting not just stories, but a cultural pulse that beats with unapologetic vitality, urging global audiences to confront the darkness within their own gleaming cities. Delve deeper into the emotional undercurrents, where loyalty isn't a plot device, but a lifeline fraying under greed's weight. Mi-seon and Do-kyung's alliance, forged in shared scars, unravels and reforms in ways that mirror the precarious bonds of real-life friendships tested by adversity. This thematic depth, blending high-stakes action with character studies that probe the cost of ambition, leaves me reflective, pondering how Project Y captures the zeitgeist of millennial disillusionment in booming economies, much like the quiet desperations in Hong Sang-soo's introspective reels, or the familial implosions of Lee Chang-dong's works. It's this layered intimacy amid the frenzy that elevates it, transforming a genre flick into a poignant elegy for the overlooked, and filling me with a tender ache for the women who dare to dream beyond their cages. Anticipate the theatrical unleashing, slated for a simultaneous bow in South Korea and Japan come late 2025, perhaps as early as October 17th in select markets. A release that Plus M Entertainment is priming with the savvy of a master thief, leveraging festival heat to position it as the next breakout in the Hallyu wave. With IMDb whispers of an 8.1 rating from early viewers praising its solid action with great female characters, akin to Kill Bill meets Thelma and Louise, and Letterboxd logs buzzing about its aesthetically pleasing flair despite occasional over-the-top indulgences, the film arrives primed for discourse. This impending flood to screens excites me to no end, envisioning packed houses debating its gender flips late into the night, a cultural event that extends the festival's echo, reminding us that cinema's true heist is stealing moments of collective wonder from our daily grind. Envision the broader canvas of Asian noir's renaissance, where Project Y stands as a bold stroke amid a palette rich with reinvention. From the feverish pursuits in Wong Kar-wai's Fallen Angels to the spectral hauntings of Japan's Cure, the genre has long thrived on cultural idiosyncrasies, now amplified by streaming's borderless reach. In Korea, trends lean toward hybrid vigor, mashing noir's cynicism with melodrama's heart-wrench, as in the gigolo underworlds of Night in Paradise, or the corporate conspiracies of Silenced. Yet Project Y carves its niche with unyielding female agency, a counterpoint to the patriarchal pitfalls that once defined the form. This evolution thrills me profoundly, a signal that East Asian storytellers are not merely adapting Western shadows, but casting their own, luminous and lethal, inviting us to revel in the diversity that makes global cinema an endless, exhilarating chase. Consider the director's heartfelt coda, his hope that viewers complete the film from their own perspective, a philosophy that transforms passive watching into active communion, echoing the interactive spirits of K-dramas, where fans co-author the emotional arcs. Lee Hwan's background, from short-form experiments like Park Hwa-young in 2018 to this ambitious leap, speaks to a craftsman unafraid of genre's edges. His influences, spanning Tarantino's dialogue daggers and Johnny To's balletic gunplay, distilled into something uniquely his. It moves me, this blend of homage and heresy, for in Project Y, he doesn't just direct a heist. He orchestrates a liberation, freeing noir from its dusty tropes to dance in the daylight of contemporary relevance, leaving an indelible mark on the soul like the faint scar of a narrow escape. Ponder the festival's legacy in nurturing such flames. Leaf's decade of defiance against mainstream myopia, spotlighting voices from 13 nations in editions past. From the riot-torn intimacies of No. 7 Cherry Lane to the experimental pulses of emerging talents, this year's 45 film bounty, heavy on Korean entries paired with cultural feasts, underscores its role as a tastemaker, fostering UK-Asia ties that bloom beyond screens into collaborations and conversations. Project Y's crowning feels poetic here, a validation that stirs pride in me for institutions like this. Quiet revolutionaries ensuring that bold works like Lee Hwan's don't fade into obscurity, but flare across oceans, igniting passions that bridge divides with the simple power of shared stories. What if the real gold in Project Y isn't the bars they chase, but the alchemical spark of its lead synergy, Han So-hee and Jeon Jong-seo, crafting a duo whose tensions and tendernesses feel ripped from life's raw seams. So-hee's arc, from the vulnerable ingenue in soundtrack No. 1 to the armored avenger here, showcases a versatility that humbles, while Jong-seo's post-burning trajectory, from indie enigmas to genre queens, adds a layer of introspective fire. Their on-screen rapport, forged in the crucible of production starting August 2024, evokes a sisterly ferocity that resonates personally, a balm for anyone who's ever leaned on a friend against the world's weight, making the film's thrills not just visceral, but viscerally human. Delight in the production's meticulous weave, from Byung Sung-min and Yang Yoo-min Haley's stewardship under Wow Point and Climax Studio, ensuring every stunt sings with authenticity, to the script's collaborative polish by Oh Yoo-kyung and Kwak Jae-min, layering subtext like hidden compartments. Filmed amid Seoul's ceaseless hum, it captures the metropolis's dual soul. Opulent facades masking desperate undercurrents, a verisimilitude that immerses me fully, as if I'm dodging shadows alongside the cast. This craftsmanship, understated yet unyielding, exemplifies Korean cinema's quiet mastery, turning Project Y into a love letter to the city's pulse, one that beats with the rhythm of reinvention and leaves me enchanted by the magic behind the mayhem. Suppose cinema's greatest heists are those that steal not fortunes, but our preconceptions, leaving us richer for the loss. Project Y executes this with flair, its reception a chorus of acclaim from TIFF's brutal violence and unstoppable star power, to early user raves calling it a perfect package of over-the-top K-drama in action garb. Critics note its occasional, faintly ridiculous turns as charms, not flaws, adding pulp zest to the noir brew, while festival juries laud its distinctive direction as a beacon for Asian potentials. This mosaic of praise warms me, a collective nod to innovation that feels earned, not bestowed, reinforcing why Korean films like this don't just entertain, they provoke, persist, and profoundly alter how we see the shadows we all navigate. Reflect on the genre's Korean inflection, where noir's fatalism fuses with Confucian echoes of duty and desire, birthing hybrids that dissect modernity's malaise, from the gigolo intrigues of a bittersweet life to the spectral corporate sins in Confession of Murder. Project Y advances this, its female lens refracting themes of survival through solidarity, a fresh vein amid trends toward philosophical violence and social scalpel work. It excites me, this progression, as if Korean noir is shedding its skin for something sleeker, more inclusive, mirroring the nation's own metamorphosis from post-war ashes to cultural colossus, and inviting us to join the evolution with open eyes and racing pulses. Envision the ripple of this win into future frames, positioning Lee Hwan for bolder canvases, perhaps delving deeper into the female gaze or urban myths, while boosting Han So-hee toward Hollywood horizons, her post-Gyeongsang creature momentum unstoppably fierce. Jeon Jong-seo, too, with roles like the upcoming Spectral Turns, seems poised to haunt international stages. This trajectory fills me with buoyant hope, for Project Y isn't an endpoint but a launch pad, hurtling Korean cinema toward uncharted stars, where stories of audacious women become the norm, not the exception, and every screening a step toward a more equitable real world. What lingers longest, though, is the emotional residue. The way Project Y doesn't just thrill, but tugs at the threads of our own hidden longings, urging us to question what we'd steal for a second chance. In its bold expansion of neo-noir, from intimate betrayals to explosive reckonings, it crafts a space where vulnerability is the ultimate weapon, a narrative sorcery that leaves me transformed, eager for the theaters to fill with voices echoing its call. This film, crowned at Leaf, stands as a monument to possibility, a reminder that in cinema's grand vault, the boldest treasures are those we seize together, hearts alight with the fire of what could be. As the echoes of applause fade from London's screens, one can't help but marvel at how Project Y has already rewritten maps of genre and gender. Its path from Seoul's studios to global stages, a blueprint for dreamers everywhere. Director Lee Hwan's vision, laced with the wry humor of survival's absurdities, challenges us to see noir not as descent, but ascent. A ladder climbed on the backs of unbreakable bonds. I feel a surge of gratitude for such tales, ones that honor the grit beneath glamour, ensuring that when the lights dim, we're left not in darkness, but dazzled by dawn's promise. Yet the story's true seduction lies in its refusal to resolve neatly, mirroring life's tangled escapes, where victory tastes bittersweet amid the fallout. The supporting cast's nuances, Kim Shin-rok's shadowy ambiguities, Jung Young-ju's steely resolve amplify this, creating a world alive with implication. Much like the ensemble intricacies in Extreme Job or the Roundup series. This depth stirs a contemplative joy in me, appreciation for how Korean cinema layers levity into lethality, turning potential caricatures into mirrors of our multifaceted selves, and making every revisit a revelation. Ponder, too, the festival's role in this alchemy. Leaf's curation of diverse voices from the region, aligning serendipitously with Project Y's thematic audacity, fostering discussions on genre's evolution that echo from panel rooms to pub chatter. Past editions' highlights, like the colonial unrest of No. 7 Cherry Lane, paved this ground, building a legacy of provocation that now elevates Lee Hwan's work. It inspires me. This ecosystem of encouragement, a reminder that festivals aren't mere spotlights, but incubators, nurturing flames that warm the world's creative hearts. In the end, Project Y emerges not as mere entertainment, but as a catalyst. Its Leaf triumph a spark for conversations on women's narratives in noir, from the vengeful widows of Sympathy for Lady Vengeance to these modern marauders. Han So-hee's Mi-seon, with her blend of fragility and fury, and Jong-seo's Do-kyung's calculated calm, embody this shift. Performances that demand encores. I close my eyes and see theaters alive with their legacy. A future where such stories proliferate, filling voids with voices long silenced, and leaving us all a little braver in the face of our own heists. The film's musical heartbeat, courtesy of Gray's genre-blending beats, underscores this. Hip-hop rhythms clashing with orchestral swells, a sonic heist that mirrors the plot's chaos. It's this fusion that captivates, evoking the eclectic scores of Snowpiercer or The Handmaiden, where sound becomes character. Listening back in my mind, it evokes a rhythmic nostalgia, a pulse that syncs with the viewer's own, making Project Y not just seen but felt, a vibration that lingers like the bass in a dimly lit club, promising nights of endless replay. As whispers of its October release swell, one senses the cultural tide turning. Project Y riding the Hallyu crest alongside behemoths like Oppenheimer, rivaling Exuma. Plus M's strategic rollout, teasing posters that drip with intrigue, builds this hype masterfully. The anticipation bubbles in me like champagne, a fizzy delight at how one film's fortune can fortune-tell for many, heralding an era where Korean noir leads the pack. Its shadows cast long and luminously across screens worldwide. Finally, in the quiet after the awards fanfare, Lee Hwan's honor feels profoundly earned. A director whose meaningful London bow caps a circuit of triumphs, each screening a stone in his foundation. His hope for audience perspectives rings true, for cinema thrives on such multiplicity. It leaves me optimistic, envisioning Project Y as the first of many, a gateway to narratives where escape is collective, and every bold step forward lights the path for those trailing behind.